Senator Pate, thanks for taking some time for us. This week wasn't the first time one of these encampments has been cleared out by police in Toronto or other cities for that matter, but this one seemed particularly violent. What are your thoughts on what you saw happening?
What I saw was a tremendous and overuse of force. I saw people being assaulted. In some of the frames I saw, we actually saw police officers pushing people to the ground. Those are assaults, and those are unlawful. And the fact that it was being done in the context of people having a peaceful protest to bring attention to the human rights violations and the human rights needs of others who are enjoying a park in a peaceful way, and ostensibly to make room for other people to enjoy the park, I think, should challenge all of us to think seriously about what role the police thought they were playing in that situation.
Now, everyone is expecting a federal election soon. Why do you feel this is a good time to press leaders on where they stand on poverty?
Well, I think it's vitally important. During this pandemic, it has laid bare the inequities many of us knew about. The inequities for Indigenous people, for racialized people, for people who are living in poverty. We know that the health outcomes were worst amongst those who were most economically marginalized. And we know that more than 3 million, in fact, closer to 5 million people were left behind with no support during this time, unlike the supports that were being provided by the CERB and wage subsidies and other initiatives. And those were laudable, really important initiatives to help people when they were in need. But the fact that we didn't help the people who were most significantly impacted, I think, is incredibly problematic. The fact that during this time we were relying on people to do personal support work, delivery, work in essential services and provide us with groceries and all of the like. And some of them had to stop doing several part-time or several full-time jobs. And we had full-time workers, like personal support workers, working at minimum wage jobs, but not able to afford a place to live, living in shelters or on the street. That's egregious. That should not be happening in a country as rich as Canada. And we have an opportunity to address poverty. This pandemic laid bare those inequities, and it's time that we actually address them. And I don't see any reason we can't. We also know that poverty costs a lot, that it is actually cheaper to address poverty than it is to continue to keep people in abject poverty, because the costing isn't just what goes into social assistance and other programs. It's the cost of health care when people can't afford sustainable, nutritious food, when they can't afford to have ongoing health care, when they can't afford their medication. And so we need to have the kinds of strong social, economic, and health safety nets that will benefit all people. And we also know that people who make the least, people living who have few resources, people working at minimum wage jobs, people surviving on social assistance and disability, that money all goes back into the economy. And we know from the research done on the Canada Child Benefit, which is like a guaranteed livable income for people with children, that for every dollar that's invested in that program, it causes the invigoration of $2 of economic growth. That should be something we should all want to see for everybody, not just for those who are living in poverty now.
All right, Senator Pate, I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to speak with us today.
Thank you so very much, and thank you.